somebody intellectual might be on their way to you, or if you are a more intellectual person, or you know, you're like, I don't know, you're a yapper maybe. You like to yap, or you like to be in your mental space, right? Your mind palace. You could be on your way somewhere relatively quickly, or it's someone coming towards you, but it's a more yang energy. So it's going to depend on how active you, well, it could even be if we're talking about going somewhere in your mind. You might be taking a little mental journey. That's kind of not what I'm getting though. I got a yes on this Hierophant, kind of, but like a no. The Five of Cups had also popped out and I was getting a no on that. When I look at what's actually on the board, I might be able to comment a bit more on that Hierophant. But the Hierophant, when I'm talking about, when I said like you might like to yap, or somebody likes to yap, like the Hierophant can be somebody who likes to pontificate. You know what I mean? Hermit at the bottom of the deck. Not especially feeling any powerful energy underneath the deck that I need to comment on. Queen of Swords. So like I had seen the King of Swords and now we have this Queen of Swords. So something going along with intellectual people, people who like to talk, people who talk for a living, people who are professional intellectuals, or people who just tend to be in their head more. It could also be people who are in the legal profession or some sort of academic setting, like teachers, something like that, or like that can be people who write. You write something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a novel, but you could write like ad copy or something like that. Justice could be the legal profession. Could be legal profession. And the King of Pentacles. So like, all right. So any of what I said could be true, but we do at least have two people here. And we have a more active energy and we have a more passive energy with this Queen. I don't know if I hold up these three cards initially. The Queen of Swords, Justice, King of Pentacles. If this is more internal aspects of yourself, what's being balanced out here is the mind versus the body. If you are looking to balance yourself out, feeling ungrounded, maybe you're feeling like, when we're getting like too intellectual, it's sort of like the way that can tend to look is you want to be constantly daydreaming. You don't want to spend any time in like the real world. That can look like that can even look like constant like video game playing or constant like novel writing, daydreaming, like wanting to dissociate. If that's something that's going on, it would be helpful for you to ask yourself why. Why do you not want to spend time in real life? And then potentially, depending on where you are and what you want to do, maybe taking steps to correct that. Because if this is an internal thing, this is sort of like we need to put the mental energy on yin, and we need to get way more active like in your body or in real life or enjoying real life, going out and experiencing something even alone socially to balance these aspects of yourself. But my initial impression is that these are two people. And one might be more intellectual and one might be like more material or like hedonistic. Because the Queen of Swords is not a very hedonistic person, while the King of Pentacles most definitely can be, though it depends on what's going to be clarifying this King of Pentacles, because the King of Pentacles can also just be very, very practical materially, but they are very grounded in the real world. Our Queen of Swords, the Nine of Swords. So somebody is all up in their heads. So yeah, and when you're predominantly in your mind, you are going to tend towards more obsession and more anxiety. So that's another big reason why, if you notice that, if it's not something that you need to see a therapist or a doctor for, you're going to want to spend more time in your body, paying attention to like what you're eating, right? So whenever I start talking about if it's just day-to-day things that you're doing for your anxiety, that's like, yeah, like doing particular, like I like to jog, but that, like, I'll say that that's kind of good for anxiety, but really like slowing down, like I think weightlifting can probably be really helpful for that. And also like slower yoga can be more helpful for that. And like eating things that are weightier, so like that's going to be like more meats and things. If you don't eat meat, it's going to be things like beans or meat substitutes, or you know, denser oats, and like potatoes or like tubers and things like that, something that feels heavy when you eat it. 5 of Swords on this Justice. I don't know if people are in a legal battle. I'm hearing no. It's more like hard won. Something's hard won. King of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles. So we got Pentacles on the Pentacles. So this is somebody who, I mean, that could be somebody's boss. It could be somebody who pays people or multiple people. It could be someone who tends to have more materially than others, but they would be more generous with it. I'm not really getting anything negative off that 6 of Pentacles, because sometimes the 6 of Pentacles can be like more superior, or like not like being stingy, or like you like to be high and mighty over people with your money. I'm not getting that at all. And then 9 of Wands, this whoever the Queen of Swords is, good Lord. All right, so especially if you're more in the mental energy that I'm talking about, there's something that's potentially going on with you right now, or it was, that was mentally exhausting you. And I don't know, like I'll have to look at that, because I don't know if it's sort of like with the 9 of Wands, that can kind of express it like, oh, like it, because if you look at this version of the 9 of Wands, it's sort of like, oh, that's finally over. But I'll look at that one, because that can be something that maybe we need a little bit more advice on. 5 of Swords, 3 of Swords, good Lord. On this middle Justice, well, it's Justice on this. And I was getting like, the message that I was getting off of that with the 5 of Swords was hard won. Like there's something that like 2 people have been struggling for, probably for a while, I don't know. But like these could be 2 people dealing with separate struggles, potentially, that are coming together, or they're like struggling together, or they will. I haven't really seen anything too tumultuous on this King, but I don't know, I'll get a little bit more information on these 2. I'm kind of curious. Page of Cups. Okay, so the King seems more okay than whoever the Queen is. It looks like this Queen is on the struggle bus. And just remember, like the Queen is just someone who's not doing as much action. So they are sitting. So you can be a man in that Queen energy. It just means you're not as active in the read. This King over here is going to tend to be more active in the material world. They could be more active within the realms of finance, or within making money, or within like charitable giving or something like that. Or like I said, they are someone who is someone's boss. Like they pay people who work for them. And this Page of Cups, this is them. So this, like their inner child is doing something. Whoever the King is, whoever that King of Pentacles is, they super want to be like vulnerable with somebody, is what's going on there. And there's a little bit of like, I don't know, like looking at this card, if you look at him, to me, he, she, or they look a little bit like hesitant. It's like, is it okay for me to be vulnerable over here? I don't know. I'm used to being people's boss. I'm not used to being the vulnerable one, or whatever. So, I mean, that could be the end of a particular struggle with this King. If this King's not used to being vulnerable with people, that could be their particular getting in balance challenge. But at the moment, that King feels more ready to me to be vulnerable with somebody. I don't know what's going on with this Queen. So that's what we're going to start off asking about. What the hell is going on with this Queen of Swords, that we got all of this? We got all of this. What's going on? All right, so our queen here, well, they're working on temperance. That's also kind of in line with justice, just in a different way. They could be like working on inner balance. They could be doing inner work, spiritual work. Eight of Cups, that could be some sort of big emotional thing that they're kind of going through. It's like, I need to like leave this behind, like a long decision process. But the Cups, that's, well, Temperance, I'm just saying Temperance isn't a Cups card, it's a major arcana. But it seems like there's some sort of major, potentially emotional or like inner life thing going on with this person. Seven of Wands, yeah, like whoever the queen is, what's stressing them out is some sort of like, there's some sort of inner change that they're going through that's going to be kind of replicating within their real life. And it seems like it's a lot of like figuring stuff out. Like, I understand this and I need to leave this, but like, how do I negotiate this? That's what it seems like this person is going through. But it seems more like, it doesn't seem to be like it's not a tower thing. It's just like a life struggle. But it's a more significant one. So, I mean, this person could be at a particular like turning point in their life. Why is it showing as like the Nine of Swords, Nine of Wands? Why is this so arduous for this person, potentially? It is arduous. Well, it's just they're sorting stuff out. I don't know, Two of Pentacles, Page of Swords. This is like decision making. Two of Wands. This person, like, this is kind of normal anxiety. It just seems like this person's trying to decide certain things and determine certain things, and how do I get from here to here, and sort of doing that on top of like the life responsibilities that are already there is just potentially a lot. So the Queen of Swords just has a lot on their plate. It doesn't seem like any like big time like pain or like, I don't like, it just doesn't seem all of that dramatic is what I mean. So I'm gonna get more on this Justice, Five of Swords, Three of Swords, because this seems like, honestly, this just seems like two people, judgment on this. This seems like two people who are potentially like changing their lives in some sort of way. And it's sort of like this middle energy, this Justice, Five of Swords, Three of Swords. It's just sort of like, that's the overriding energy. Like, whatever life changes these people have been going through for however long are just challenging. But it's sort of like with the Justice, it's like nothing has been unnecessary, I would say. It's just, this is kind of what life is, but also what I feel from the read intuitively is that these people are going to be successful, whether they're doing something together or whether I'm just talking about just two people, two separate types of people. All right, Judgment, the Empress, the Ace of Wands. So the Empress is that yin energy. All right, what I'm getting from this is that whatever this Justice, Five of Swords, Three of Swords is, it's more to do with that King. And I'm getting the yes on that. And it's just, so these two people are linked, okay? Because that Empress is the Queen of Swords. But this is like, whatever's going on in these two people's lives, it's somehow connected. I don't know if these two people already know each other, or if this is more like their energies are already kind of merging, and it's sort of like they're gonna come together at the right point at these particular periods of their lives. But there's something like with this Judgment, it's just like with the Justice, all of this is going to plan. This yin energy is simultaneously embarking on some sort of new thing. Like, they're trying to structure that. That yin energy is trying to like move on to something different, like just within their life. That could be in any particular realm of their life, and it is likely that they will be successful with whatever they're struggling with at the moment. But simultaneously, this King of coins, King of Pentacles, like I'm saying, they want to be vulnerable with somebody, and this is this sort of like excitement, passion energy. And this trial, whatever it is, has more to do with them. So they're called, like both of these people are called in a particular direction, but what's going on in that middle column has more to do with the king and their particular struggles to get them to this point than it does with that queen who is dealing with her or their own struggles. And like I said, this is all like they, right? All they. I just tend to gender the cards because that's what it looks like to me on the card. So we'll get a little bit more on this King of Pentacles, like whatever else we need to know about this person. And then I guess I'll see, unless I figure out here, like maybe how these people are linked. Ooh, Lord. Okay, there's something about this king being vulnerable with whoever this femme energy is. And remember, it's never just one person, it's a lot of different people. There's something about this king being vulnerable with this femme energy that I don't like, because I got the 10 of Swords on this. There's something about it that like they just like 10 of Swords, 4 of Swords. Is it that they're not going to do that? No, it's not that they're not going to do this. But that like this is very much giving just like I'm dead. I'm dead. Like you've killed me. Like figuratively, it seems like, and I've gotten energy like that before. Whoever the more femme energy is, that like this person like wants to be vulnerable toward or about or with. I don't know if this, like I'm hearing it's not. That is not whoever the king is. That is not their usual like demeanor. They don't really do that. And so for them, it's kind of like, you've killed me. Oh, I'm slain. Like, okay, like that's kind of what it's giving. I'm going to pull a couple more just to see if I'm on the right track with that. 'Cause I'm just like, is this person dead? And no. Or does this, like, they don't hate this. It's just that it's like, it's almost like whoever I'm talking about had to die unto themselves. That's what that 5 of Swords, 3 of Swords is. Whoever I'm talking about probably really doesn't like being vulnerable or whatever. Yeah, 7 of Coins, the Star, and the Wheel of Fortune. So that 10 of Swords, 4 of Swords is more like it, like there was a process that this person had to go through. The Star, that's like a healing thing. There was some sort of inner destruction that this person had to go through to kind of change their fate with this Wheel of Fortune. It would have been something that they kind of wanted to do, but were very like this person had a very, very large blockage, okay? And that blockage, that's what this is. That's what this is. Whatever blockage that king was dealing with, that is the Justice, 5 of Swords, 3 of Swords. That's the blockage. This is this person fighting through that blockage to balance themselves out, and it's all swords here. So that was probably fairly painful for this person to deal with the 10 of Swords. Now, this is this person, however this person experienced their particular change, it was painful for them and arduous. I'm not saying that what the queen is going through or will, like, whatever they're going through, it looks fairly challenging as well, but like the middle stuff is more about that king. So I am just going to get what's the most important thing to know about this read. Well, I already know what this card is. I know it's the 2 of Cups. So there's a potential coming together here, or what it's saying is these two people already have an energetic connection. If like you, whether you are the more yin energy or the more yang, would have no idea who I'm talking about yet. I'm just telling you what's showing up in your energy. If you stay like on a similar course, right? Hold up. Ugh. If you stay on a similar course, if you don't know this person, you will likely meet this person as just part of your journey. And then the two of you, I don't know what'll happen. Depends on y'all, what y'all want. But at least we have somebody who's going through a life thing, and then we have something who's been through kind of a deep interchange, who would now like to be vulnerable with somebody. if it's not a specific person. They're just ready in their life to be vulnerable. It just looks like Two of Cups, Eight of Wands, Knight of Cups. I mean, this is a lot of fast-moving energy. It could be that the connection will come together relatively swiftly. It could be that when these two people come together, the relationship, no matter what form it takes, is going to move relatively swiftly. But I mean, that's very flowing. Yeah, Four of Wands on this Two of Cups. So that's like, if these people haven't met yet, they are both simultaneously passing through a threshold where they're going to be like coming together for something. When I'm saying in love, it like, that could look a lot of different ways, but it's something that is beneficial, happy for both, and something that's stable with the Four of Wands, right? But that's like kind of like a threshold at the moment. But it could also be like a stable relationship. The High Priestess, so that's about energy. Something's fast moving in the energy at the moment, or fast moving on the unseen realms. The Lovers. So, I mean, it's kind of what I've already said. It's kind of what I've already said, whether this is meaning that these two are quickly coming together in the real world and like things are going to progress. It's kind of all simultaneously. Like, it's true. Like, these two people are coming together swiftly in the energy. These two people are swiftly coming together in the real world. And it's likely that all of this is going to be happening at a very steady clip. Like, I don't see any blockages here on this. The only thing that's a little bit static is this High Priestess, but that's not a block. It just means energy, or it means like the Eight of Wands can be kind of a little bit flighty or like too quick. And the High Priestess being present, it's just like, no, the reason why this is moving at the pace that it is moving is because there is a deep, like, energetic connection here. Like, these are very, very deep currents of energy. It is not something that is superficial. Yeah, Four of Pentacles on that. Like, it's grounded in something. It's stable. They're saying I don't have to pull any more on that, but sometimes I can get like the Four of Pentacles as a blockage. I don't think it's any blockage. I think it's exactly what I've said. Yeah, it's just that. This is like Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups. Whoever I'm talking about, if it is two people, like, this is a very quick moving, grounded, happy, like, relationship that is forming in the energy. If it continues to form in the energy, eventually it will manifest in real life. If these are inner aspects of yourself, you are doing a lot of fantastic integrative work to create the kind of happy, fulfilled life that you would want to see, no matter if that includes another person or not.